G'day and welcome back to the Todd Sergeant radio show, video show. It's got a bit of a ring to it, doesn't it? Hey, first off, I'd like to say thanks so much to everyone who hung in there for nearly an hour last Thursday night, or maybe you've caught it online, maybe you've caught it on YouTube, our very first Q&A. A lot of questions, a lot of answers, but I didn't realise we'd gone for nearly an hour, so that was a whole lot of fun. Thank you so much also for your amazing feedback. The comments have been great, and you say you want more. So I've been thinking about it, and I think that an hour is way too long, because let's face it, everyone's got a busy life. So what we're going to do is we're going to do more of less. So your questions will focus on one question at a time. So if you've got a question you'd like to pose to me about radio flying or anything like that, you can drop me an email, todd@2nurfm.com, or pose them in the comments section of this video, and I'll make sure we get to them in the next couple of weeks. I'd like to do one of these videos every week, so it's kind of a radio moment. We might even give you a little bit of training in regard to if maybe you want to be a radio announcer, maybe you've always wanted to get behind the microphone. So we've got some exciting things coming your way. First off, though, one question today around headphones. And Greg said, look, why do you use headphones in the studio, and what kind of headphones do you use? Well, if you've ever looked through the webcam, or maybe you've seen a news story where the TV cameras have gone into a radio studio, or maybe you've seen a radio studio portrayed on TV or in a movie, and generally you will see the presenters wearing headphones. And it's not just for aesthetics. It's not just to make us look more radio-y or we look like we're really serious by wearing headphones. There's a very good reason for it. If you've ever been into a radio station, we've got two big speakers on the wall, and they're called studio monitors. And that causes some problems in modern times because when they were first called monitors, we didn't have computer screens in the studio. Now, of course, we call computer screens monitors, so people will walk in and get confused. But anyway, back in the day, they would monitor the sound of the studio. So what happens is when you turn the microphone on, the big speakers in the studio switch off, because if they don't, they'll get feedback. So have you ever been to a concert, maybe you've been to a function, maybe you've been to a wedding, or a corporate events, and the presenters got up to talk, and you've heard this amazing squeal. Well, that's feedback. And putting it simply, feedback is just when the microphone can hear itself. Okay, so, and then you get what we call the feedback loop. So the microphone hears itself, then it hears it comes again, and it comes again, and it comes again, and it gets louder and louder and louder and bigger and bigger and bigger. So when we turn the microphone on in the studio monitors, the speakers turn off. So that's why we need our headphones. And people turn around and ask, well, why do you need to hear yourself? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, when everything goes quiet, you might be talking over the end of a song. You might be talking over the end of the song and starting another song. You've got no idea what that song level is, or if it's even playing. Also, you might be taking a caller, you might be going to the phones to do an interview. Well, you can't talk to that person if you can't hear them. So by having the headphones on, you get to hear them, you get to hear what's happening in the program, because you could be halfway through a discussion, you could be halfway through a talk set, and the transmitter falls over. You know, lightning strikes it, or someone goes up with a hacksaw. No one's going to go up with a hacksaw and chop the transmitter down. But basically, we could go off the air. Anything could happen, and we wouldn't know. So that's why we have headphones on when we're in the studio. Also, it allows us to maintain proximity and microphone technique. So are you too loud? Are you too soft? You can get a bit of a gauge on how you're sounding. And also you might have a guest in the studio where you're talking to one of the other presenters and you need to be able to hear their sound quality. Is their microphone working? Is it the right level? Have you got any problems? So that's why we wear headphones in the studio. Now, if you're an audio person, you're probably going to turn around and go, what about fold back? And if you've ever seen a band on stage, you'll see that there are speakers pointing back to the band or the artist. That's called fold back. It was tried. Some radio stations have fold back systems, but I've never worked in one that has fold back, and I don't know whether they still do it anymore. And second question, what kind of headphones do I use? Generally AKG headphones. These are 141s. They're pretty much industry standard, and I've used a variety of AKG 141s from the time I started in radio back in the mid 80s, 1986. They're not actually a headphone. They're actually a studio monitor. So they don't have any bass enhancement. They're not designed to enhance the sound. They're designed to give you a clear sound. So how you sound into the microphone is hopefully how you're going to sound through the headphones. So obviously I can hear myself now. When I'm doing this video, I don't necessarily need to have the headphones on. They don't make you look good, and I blame the headphones for making my hair thin prematurely. But anyway, so there you go. Gregory, that's why we wear headphones in the studio. If you've got a question, drop it below and I will shoot a video for you answering your question. Until then, have a fantastic day and I'll catch you on the radio.